I love doing work with the Scottish team and meeting Jen. 2018, 2017, I lost track of which that year was, but it was just a hoot, both because the passion and the commitment is there in a really serious way, I think, at the Scottish TUC in general, and certainly in Glasgow, where Jen has been doing this work. So I think from the very first time I showed up there, there was just this handful of a lot of young, strong-minded, but brand new at the work, young people who were really into building and rebuilding a better and a new trade union movement. And what a breath of fresh air, because we need that everywhere, like all over the entire world. So I'm just going to say a few minutes about the program itself, and how it's structured. And I think we'll get into the dialogue with some of the folks from Scotland. And I'm happy to answer any question or comment or anything like that. So, I think over the years, part of what I'm realizing that's different about the online training program is, one, foundationally, it's a program that's meant for rank and file workers and for sort of full-time staff also who work for unions. But to have a program designed from the very beginning so that ordinary members of our unions could participate in them in a serious way, and not have to not always have to be on the approval list of who inside of whatever given union somewhere in the world might have control of that approval list. Like, that was a big development realization of like how many more people really wanted to learn to organize, like, than we're actually being given access to. So just the hunger is there in the world to like, what is this thing and how do we win more? Because we're getting crushed out there. So one is, it's really highly participatory, and you can't, and at first I was the most skeptical. If Ethan remembers our first meeting, I mean, I was the most skeptical that I could take sort of 30 years of curriculum development work I had done as an organizer who believes in training a lot in the field. I mean, people get the best training, I think, in a campaign. But shy of a campaign, how do you do really good, pedagogically speaking, really good training work that's high participation, high engagement, when you're all sitting on the end of a phone line or a Zoom line or a something, right? I mean, the world just flipped upside down from when I was a young organizer at the age of 22, working and living at a famous place in the US called the Highlander Research and Education Center, which was probably the most famous adult training and education center. And it has its origins as the adult education center for the Congress of Industrial Organizations, for the CIO. In the 1930s and 40s, at the height of the CIO, the best of the US trade union movement. It's often later known only to be this very famous center that had a huge influence on the civil rights movement, but it has a history before that. And it's interesting in the US that it's like safer to talk about the civil rights movement than it is to like talk about the role of the Highlander Center in the left-led kind of trade union movement. So to go from small rooms, rocking chairs, 30 people in a room, very Palo-Freirean, sort of in its tradition for those who know Freire's work, to I'm going to climb on with a headset and talk to 5,000 people tonight about organizing, and they're going to go into breakout rooms and then come back and talk about it. It's like pretty mind-blowing elevation of the scale of the work. So two is, it's extraordinary how we can scale the work up. So it's who's coming, it's how many are coming. It's like quality and it's quantity both. And I think that that's, been profound, been a profound experience. I think the first time we hit like 5,000 on a single screen in the A session for one of the courses at the height of the pandemic, it was like, wow, there's 5,000 people here. We could start getting serious numbers up around the world to scale up around more effective organizing, and more effective power analysis and more effective strategy if we did a lot more of this. So we just started doing a lot more of it, and we have a course coming up, which Ethan will talk about. So, and in the course itself, I think, we essentially take the core concepts that I've put into all of my books, which is 4 of them now, each one an accident, honestly. And we've taken the concepts in them, which I'm always the first to say are not my concepts. They're not mine. I was taught by brilliant trade union leaders. I had amazing mentors who do come directly from the Congress of Industrial Organizations. So, like, I can now say I'm 2nd generation from Leon Davis, who's 1 generation from. Like, we can do name games, like who was linked to which famous CIO organizer in the 1930s, just based on who trained me and who trained that person. So it's pretty wild. So we take the core concepts of organizing, and then add the methodology that goes with it. So here's a concept: high participation. We need a lot of it to beat them because they have way more technical, tactical kind of resources than we do. They just have way more. They have the military, they have the media, they own it all. Like, you all know what the basic power imbalance is. It's pretty intense. And we do know that the one thing we have going up against the people destroying the planet, destroying our quality of life, the one thing we have is our numbers, but they're only numbers theoretically. There's nothing real about them unless we can manifest something like 90% of the working class to actually fight and fight to win. And that's what the program is about. It's about fighting and fighting to win, and teaching people that at a very high scaled up level, and going from core concepts like that we have to listen more than we talk, for example, that we have to spend most days prioritizing workers who go the other direction when they see us coming down the hall. Those are the very workers we have to go find and have a conversation with. We have to know how to have an effective conversation once we catch up to them. So this is concepts and methods, and we put it all together in one 6-week course. We learn from every course. We have learned from every course. We just did a training academy to train 50 more global trainers in the program, and we learned from the global training program. Like, we just keep learning how to scale it up and make it better and better. And every class is better and excites the hell out of me. So I think that's the basic concepts on the training program. And yeah, and it's about the most fun thing I do. Like, whenever it's in training mode, I feel like it's like my happy 6 weeks whenever I'm stopping and pausing in a campaign and actually running a training program. It's super fun.